everyone, it's Chelsea from Painted Layers, your channel for DIY eco fashion. In today's video, we're going to learn how to sew this tulip skirt. You want to learn how to make it? Just keep watching. We made this skirt out of an old 80s jumper that we found at the thrift store. I absolutely loved the fabric and thought it would make a really nice skirt. And what you can do is try this one on and kind of use some tailor's chalk to mark how high you want the skirt to be. I'm just going to mark that. This pattern is great because it has straight lines, so I don't really need to worry about where to put my lines. And the first thing I'm going to do for this dress is I'm going to sew this seam in the front. I'm going to sew this together. I'm going to use my serger so I get a nice clean finish, but if you don't have a serger, you can just use your regular sewing machine. I'm going to take my rotary cutter and my ruler here. I'm going to kind of use the print as a guide for where to cut. And I'm just going to cut that off. So we're going to use the part that we cut off for the facing of the seam. So I'm going to save this, put it aside. And now we have the skirt. I'm going to make a curved line here so it curves in the front and so it's kind of long in the back. But before we do that, we're going to make the waistband. So first I'm going to serge all the way around this raw edge, and then I'm going to be tucking it under and just using a straight stitch to stitch the casing for the elastic. So I'm going to start at one of the side seams and go ahead and serge. Do is just fold it down and measure to the length that I want. I want kind of a large casing here, so I'm going to try to do about 2 inches. So then I grab my iron, and this is something that just takes practice. You gotta move quickly. You don't want to leave your iron on the fabric too long because you don't want it to burn. Okay, so now we sew down the serged edge with a straight stitch. So then on the back it looks very finished, straight, can't even really see it. So then you want to cut a piece of elastic that's going to fit around your waist. Just kind of wrap it around your waist. And you want it to feel tight, but not too tight that it's uncomfortable. And I'm going to use a safety pin here, pin it on to one end. And then I'm going to find where I started. I left that little gap, don't forget to do that. And I'm going to take my safety pin and go all the way around. A good trick is to take the other end and clip it there so that you don't lose the other end inside the casing. Once you've got the elastic all the way to the other end, you can take your regular sewing machine and you can do a small zigzag stitch and stitch this together. And then after that's done, we're going to use the same black thread in the straight stitch and just stitch over this hole here. We took a curved ruler and our tailor's chalk and we just went ahead and made that curve. And then I took my rotary cutter and I just cut along that edge. So with that method, it should be even on both sides. Now, in order to finish this hem here, I'm going to close to that same shape here. So I'm just gonna take the fabric, match up the fold, what I'm gonna do is use this as a piece of facing. So I'm gonna put right sides together and I'm just gonna sew this here. And I'm also going to cut this part off and just kind of serge it probably 2 inches along here so that it's a nice facing, so we don't have all this extra fabric right here in the middle. So I'm just gonna take this, line it up evenly, and like I said, probably 3 inches for the facing. Now I serge this edge here, and then I'm gonna sew this right sides together onto here. So now to finish the facing part, I took my scissors, and you want to use small scissors so that you can get in those small spaces. What I did was I took these scissors and I just made small diagonal cuts, probably like 1 inch to 2 inches apart, and that's going to help this seam to lay flat when we turn it around. Inside out, and I'm just going to probably take my serger to do this and then kind of use my clips, clip it down and just start from the side and then just curve this around and close it shut on both sides. And after we do that, it should be done, and we'll see how it turned out.